Recording in progress. All right. I love it. All right. Welcome everyone to Inside ProCents. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever day of the year, week, month you're watching this. I'm excited to bring an amazing guest and a friend of mine to the show. So at Inside ProCents, we're here to highlight the members and partners that we work with to help bring professionals together. Also, with ProCents, we're about the power of connections. So this will hopefully supercharge those connections for you to meet my friend, my guest. I'm going to let Michael introduce himself to tell a little bit about his company. So Michael, can you introduce your role and your company?
It would be my pleasure. Thank you very much, Matt, for creating this platform and creating this opportunity for both myself and my companies. So my name is Michael Tylec, and I am the Director of Business Development for both GTO Aluminum and IQ Skyline. And my role in the organization as the Director of Business Development is to create and establish new avenues, verticals of business. It's to create and establish new partnerships, such as our new endeavor that we're doing here with ProCents, and to maintain and cultivate our current relationships and partnerships.
Nice. Well, I like that you're in business development because we're all trying to develop our business. We're all trying to grow our business. And that's why I started ProCents, is because I saw a gap within markets because you get siloed. And the cool thing about you is you're wearing you're wearing one hat for two different companies that do two different things. So I love both of these things. I've got sample kits of one of them, which we'll get into in a little bit, and some other stuff. But can you highlight just a little bit about GTO Aluminum and IQ Skyline? And then we'll get into both of those.
Yeah, it would be my pleasure. So I'll start with GTO. And so GTO was founded 30 years ago in the state of Israel and expanded its operations internationally over the course of time, beginning in Europe and most recently here in the United States, actually very young and new here in the United States 4 years ago. It was founded under the name of Profiles of the Galilee, and the owner decided to change the name after he expanded his family, and he named it GTO after the first initials of his three sons. And we are a aluminum manufacturer. What we specialize in is in fact, our founder created the system, is systems for cladding and siding, where we use electrically powder coated to cover our wood-like finish type sidings and type claddings. That all of our profiles are 100% aluminum alloy that we carry here in the United States, which actually applies worldwide, a Miami-Dade County certification, which is the highest level of certification that you can receive against any type of stringent weather. We're 100% ICC grade A certified, so 100% fireproof, 90% smoke proof, which makes us extremely sustainable. So you don't have to worry about touching up and repainting and dealing with all the elements of redoing any particular project that you're working on, whether it be commercial or residential. Our profiles apply both for commercial and residential use. Interior and exterior design can be applied both vertically and horizontally.
Nice. Well, speaking of that, I want to, as a lighting guy, I want to get into the vertical and horizontal integration, because the GTO aluminum sample kit that I got and was able to look at the finishes, the colors, the kind of designs, it's top notch. And your website,
thank you,
absolutely beautiful. Love it.
Thank you.
So I want people to go to the website. I'm going to have a link in the bottom of the description so people can go check out this. But as a lighting guy, aluminum helps dissipate heat. So I know this product will help prolong and extend the life of any lighting products that are put inside of this, and it may be a channel. And I can't wait for our lighting manufacturers to hook up with you and maybe start engineering more turnkey solutions. Everybody says they're turnkey.
Love it.
But now we have the opportunity because y'all have a great product, great solutions, and it is high end at its best when it comes to an aluminum product. This is not your aluminum that you get from your kitchen. This is high end stuff. So I can't wait for people to see it. But so So that's one of the companies, aluminum construction. You're looking at hurricane ratings and sustainability. Tell our audience a little bit more about IQ Solutions, is it IQ Solutions or Skyline? I want to make sure I get that
IQ
right.
Skyline is the
All right.
is the brand, and IQ Technologies actually is the company. But yes, IQ Skyline is the brand.
All right.
And IQ Skyline, we are a luxury massage chair company. We like to look at ourselves and consider ourselves actually much more than that. We are a health and wellness company who just our main products that we put out to the market are luxury massage chairs. So they are cutting edge technology chairs, but even though the technology is very cutting edge, that as far as for recovery, for wellness, for pain management, they are very simple. So they're simple to use. So I'll highlight one of our chairs, which it's probably our number one bestseller. It's called our Crown. And the reason why I highlight it is that, the biggest question that I always get, or the biggest pushback that I always get whenever we're approaching, whether it be professional sports or different healthcare facilities or healthcare, or I should say, pardon me, gym or health centers, is that, where are we going to put this big massive chair?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to fit it in logistically? So we created a more compact chair called the Crown, which was initially designed as a gaming chair, but we discovered it had so many more potential applications and potential usages. So it really fits into any space. You could use it as a desk chair. You could use it in your lobby, in your office. You could put it in the locker room in a gym or in a health club. We have them featured in. So we're partners with the Ultimate Fighting Championship with the UFC. It's featured in their Performance Institute. My alumni school, the University of Miami, has it in the Heck Center. The football program uses it. And then we just recently signed a deal with UNLV. We're a Las Vegas-based company, so it's about to be in the UNLV
Nice.
athletic facilities as well. And it just has multiple applications for those of your members and audience who do compression therapy. Instead of just using a traditional zero gravity chair, that you can get your compression therapy and still get a massage at the same time. For those who are doing IV therapy, you can get all the benefits of using IV therapy and still get a massage at the same time. And as I said, just a really simple chair to use, that very cost effective as well. We are the manufacturer, so you're not dealing with any middlemen. And it's just a great tool to use for both recovery, for performance, to absorb, nutrition better. The four elements for wellness are, performance, or I should say training, recovery, nutrition, and sleep, right? So, I'm a little biased, but I think that we are a core part of all four. So, because we contribute very much to all four, is that you can train better when you're better recovered. So this assists with recovery. It allows you to absorb nutrition better, and which all of those things make you sleep much finer. So
nice. Well, the thing I love about this is because it is a little bit of a stretch for our audience, but here's the one thing that I saw with these chairs and some of the things that Michael and his team have provided as some giveaways. So we'll check that out on social media for the upcoming show, the third annual ProCents show, November 9th through the 11th at Lake Lanier Island. So we've got some really cool stuff. It's not a chair, I wish. But if you're working hard out in the field and you're trying to retain, talent, if top tier universities like University of Miami, UNLV are putting these in their facilities, it might be one of those things that you may put something like this in your break room to allow your people to recover a little bit more, because stresses of a job are hard, but having a break room that can help do that, whether there's a TV on the wall showing music or, just sports, whatever it may be, something that takes away the stress, it might help you retain that top level talent. And that's one thing that I see is this can be, but also as you're going in, and for some of the companies that we work with, I know you've got employees that have been there for 10, 15, 25 years, and the cheap watches not getting it done, the gift cards not getting it done. maybe you reward them with a chair or something that will allow them, because they've broken their back for your company. So this might be a way for you to reward them. And also, if you're in these hotels or wellness centers or universities and you see these things are missing, you now have a direct connection to make a sell through your company with the option of working with Mike, and they can have this drop ship with what I think he alluded to, the pre-call white glove service. So this is one of those things that can separate you apart, maybe in your proposal. I don't know. It's a stretch, but it's always worth a conversation. And I appreciate Michael for being so robust in having the knowledge to talk about health, but also talk about the aluminum and the construction side of the business.
I appreciate all that, and I could not agree. I could not agree more. As I said before, I will admit that I'm a little biased, but I truly do believe it. I believe it to my core, is that, no matter what field we're in, no matter what field of business that we all engage in, if you're talking about, on the executive level or the non-executive level, that when people are healthier, they perform better. When people are of the right mindset, that they excel at what they do. So, if we're talking about our role as executives, it's to create a platform and to create a place where our teams can be at their best and, build a platform for them where they can succeed. So success comes from setting the table to allow success. So I truly do believe, to my core, that when people are healthier, they perform better. When they're more relaxed, in a better state of mind, that they think better and they excel at what they do. So I think this is a great tool to accomplish all of those things.
Yeah. Well, I love that, because we're all looking for better performers within our business. I've had people ask me over the years, when's your peak performance time? There's studies that say that, most people have a 4-hour window of peak performance. I like to say mine's between, this call might say otherwise, because we're recording around lunchtime, but my peak performance time is usually between 6 and 10 p.m. In the morning, I'm a little bit more relaxed. It takes me a little bit more effort to get things going, but everyone has a different thing. But if you know what that is, and you know how to get the best out of everything that you're doing, or how to best refuel, re-engage everything that you've got going with you, whether it be what you're eating or anything like that, that's amazing. So let me ask you a question, because I know people are going to try to wrap their head around this here. We're going to maybe spend a little more time here on IQ, but tell me how people can partner with you if they've got a solution or a customer that may benefit from you. And we don't have to give away the secret sauce or anything like that or anything proprietary, but are there ways for these people to work with you and really build that relationship and create an additional value for their customers?
Great question, and I appreciate the opportunity. And the answer is absolutely yes for both companies.
All right.
So I guess Skyline is the more simple one. It would be the lower hanging fruit here. So as a ProCents member or any affiliate or colleague who is connected directly or indirectly to ProCents, so we're going to provide everyone with an affiliate code where you can go to our website and you would receive pretty much dealer pricing. So no requirement to buy in bulk as we do for our sub distributors. The same pricing that we would offer the University of Miami or the UFC is going to be extended to you. It's pretty much about 60 to 70% off of MSRP. And so whether it's for your own personal use, whether it's for corporate gifting, whether it's for a bonus or reward program, or just something that you want to as a business opportunity to distribute to a potential client, that I'm not going to pretend the margins are extremely high. However, there are margins that are there and will be quite a big deal of savings. So from a business standpoint, there is money to be made. And from a personal usage standpoint, just to be able to take care of yourself, take care of your families, take care of your staff and your teams at a much higher level. And on the GTO side, that without having to play with too many moving parts, that I know everyone here is in different industries and has different roles in those industries. So without trying to highlight one specific part that is not applicable to everybody that we're talking here. But you start with I just started reading again, one of my favorite books by an author named Simon Sinek. Start with why. So it's been my morning walks on an audiobook. I read it, I think, the first time about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I think all of our success always begins with why.
Mhm.
So most organizations that I've been involved with, or at least that I've tried to be involved with over the course of my professional career, that's where I start my decision making with why.
Yeah.
Why do I want to be a part of this? What value do I bring to it? Where do I want to see these companies go, and what can I bring to the table that can put my own personal touch on it? And in GTO specifically, it's the founders of it and the management team and the executive team of this company. I only recently joined them, so I can't take much credit for all the amazing systems that they brought into place. But if we're talking about your office, if we're talking about your headquarters, your home, or any project of any kind, whether it's in the commercial space, the hospitality space, like you mentioned earlier, alluded to, Matt, which I think we bring an elevated look and a sustainable look and sustainability to any of these properties, that it just really makes it look so much more elegant. It just upgrades and elevates any particular type of project, design project, architectural project that you're potentially involved in. And so whether it's to give a new facelift and to really upgrade and solidify what your business is, what your company is in your own headquarters, or potentially for one of your clients, just to bring them value. We talked about lighting. You brought up lighting, Matt, that the way that our systems are built, the way that our profiles are. So we have a click beam system and a universal system. And in fact, they were designed to put LED lights in between them as well, unlike interior projects or exterior projects. So you can put applications of lighting to really give it that extra boom. One of the more popular profiles that people use it for is like for outdoor kitchens and for bars, that just to have that extra fluorescent lighting and LED lighting in that elevated outdoor kitchen. But it really could be applied to anything.
Well, I
go ahead,
love
please.
that. And didn't mean to cut you off there, but one of the things I want to encourage people, and I'm going to put in the description and the email that goes out, and at the bottom of the YouTube video, in that description, you're going to have Michael's information. I want to encourage every single person watching this video to take advantage of these offers that he's providing via ProCents. But most of all, I come from a project manager role and looking at bids and things like that. Now you have a direct access to some of these wall partners, not sheetrock, but some of the sustainable walls. And you're like, what does that mean to me? It allows you to give an extra bid line that no one else is bidding. And it's going to give you direct line access to work with one of the premium, or I'm going to say the premium aluminum wall and ceiling manufacturer, or just substrates out there.
Thank you.
But I would encourage y'all to reach out to Michael and GTO to get a sample kit of their materials so you can look at it, hold it, and see the difference that they provide over what you may have seen elsewhere. And then that way you keep it in your car. This kit is phenomenal. It's probably about 18 to 2 feet long, 1 foot in high, and sits about an inch. So it can store underneath your seat. It's not going to take up a lot of room. Their literature is online, but it's one of those things that's going to give you an edge. And even think about doing your own office, as Michael said. If you're trying to give a facelift to attract new talent, or when you're bringing in your customers to do a proposal, having this can really set you apart. And now you have direct line access to GTO Aluminum and Michael to make this happen. But again, take advantage of it. Don't let these things go by. And that's what Michael has always done for me. He's always been a steward of making sure that what he says he's going to do, he does. And that's why I'm happy to have him and his team as a part of ProCents.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. And just to piggyback, not to be too long-winded, but just to piggyback on what you just said, that just to highlight, because I think it's an important part to highlight, is that we do have an in-house engineering team. So, whether it be for a client or whether it be for you as an individual, your organization as an individual. So any thoughts, ideas, any blueprint specs that whether you have or you need assistance creating to really put together that potential facelift and that redesign and, bring value both to your own business and to your clients. So our engineers will help prepare a takeoff for you that, not not give you a ballpark figure, but give you an accurate figure of what the investment would potentially be, identify it requires any customization and minimize any unnecessary waste. So save you a lot of time and money on potential outside parties that would, take a lot of time preparing all those things for you and, charge you an arm and a leg to do it. That it'd be our pleasure to offer our services as part of our service to all of you. And usually our turnaround for such things is about 72 hours.
Nice. Well, and the nice thing about it is you did say you're a West Coast company. You're in Las Vegas. So I'm here on the East Coast in Atlanta. You talked about being Miami certified. I mean, hurricane certified, not the
Right.
Miami, but actual hurricanes, Cat 4, Cat 5s, the bad stuff. You're certified to withstand that. You're smoke proof, you're fireproof. You got engineering on the West Coast. So for those like me who
Engineering worldwide, actually. So full
Yeah,
R&D
so-
department in Israel.
Oh my God. So that just makes it one of those things where if you're working like me late at night, or if you're working early in the morning, you can reach out to the engineering team, say, hey, here's what we've got. And now you've got a rough time of like, how long will it take to get it back? 72 hours. This is why we wanted to partner with GTO to bring this to everyone in the community, because I believe in this product. Not because it's an amazing product, but because of everything I've seen and been able to touch. And I can't wait for it to be put into applications with some of my customers moving forward. And then just to see what you, the members of ProCents, are able to do with this amazing product.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, as we're getting close to the end here, I like to, inject just a little bit about the website. So we're going to put both the websites up there so you can go and visit them. Also, again, I'm going to reiterate Michael's information so you can reach out to him if you've got any questions, heartburns, or you just want to say, damn, I'm in love. Send it all to me. Here's a blank check. Michael, if that happens, remember your boy here. I'm kidding, folks. This is
Noted.
a partnership. I step away from it. I want y'all to have direct line access. I'm not in the middle of this in the deal. Neither is ProCents. We're just trying to bring industry professionals together. But Michael, do you have any closing thoughts or anything that people should know about you, GTO, or IQ before we close out?
Again, I appreciate the opportunity and appreciate this platform that you set up for us. And the key, if I was to say like a point to leave on, and I speak for my entire organization, and especially the ownership of this company, is that so it's actually the same ownership group of both companies, which is what allows me to dance on both of these playing fields. So, when we first and foremost, what we not just preach, but we take pride in practicing, is that of service, and not being a company that sells products, but being a company that provides solutions and provides value and brings value. So, we don't just speak it, we live by it. So we take it upon ourselves. I'll start with GTO just for a moment, is that we do not pretend, nor do we, try to promote that we are the most cost effective or we are the cheapest material in the market. In fact, the contrary. But we do absolutely know that we are the best. We know that we are the most sustainable. And we know that, we back up what we say, and that you have a lifetime partner when you work with us. And the same for Skyline, that, both companies, in the case of GTO, a 30-year-old company, in the case of Skyline, a 15-year-old company in a very competitive space, that we have thrived and we've excelled in both those spaces, is a testament less to our products and less to our service, but as a testament to all the relationships that we've built and the customer service that we offer. And we whether it's a small transaction or it's a multi-million-dollar transaction, we appreciate those clients equally and treat them as such. We treat them equally.
Nice.
And so that if I was to leave with a story that just we were talking about, because my Hurricanes, the University of Miami, that a great testament to the type of relationships that we built. So 4 years ago, I introduced Vinny Scavo, who is the assistant athletic director and the head athletic trainer for the University of Miami, to IQ Skyline. So to our chairs that, I've been in the health and wellness industry for give or take about 15 years. And anytime something has come to my desk or come in front of me, whether it's something that the companies I've been involved with manufactured or created, or just a colleague or an associate that I've really been impressed by some of the technologies that they've been involved with, I've always brought it to the University of Miami to see if it would bring value to their program. And, at the time, the chairs didn't make sense for them. It was not something that was on their radar. It wasn't a need. There wasn't space. There wasn't a budget. But 4 years later, under their new leadership, under the new head of their program, that, the first person they called when they were thinking about putting massage chairs in their locker rooms was me. And the reason for it is that, we had built a lifelong relationship, a lifelong partnership, and that, that at the time it didn't make sense for them, but when it did, they sought us out. And, that was something that was very moving to me, both as an alum of the university, that, I have a lot, it's one that I'm very passionate about, but even less on a personal level, professionally, it showed me and taught me that, maybe we are doing something right, that, we're building the right type of relationships and we're maintaining them in a way that they can only grow. You and I are a very similar story, that, we met initially in the form of a transaction at the Rolex 24 for all you racing enthusiasts out there, and just found a lot of commonality when we took the time to get to know each other. It had less to do with the transaction and more to do with the relationship of getting to know each other, and to meet somebody who is like-minded, who puts first and foremost faith, family, and servanthood before anything else. That now going on almost 7 years now, a 7-year relationship.
Yeah.
So if I was to leave with anything, is that what we are looking for, what we're seeking from this partnership, is to build relationships with like-minded people that we can, God willing, be engaging in not just business, but life together for the next quarter century or beyond.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully bring value, do our best to bring value to your organizations.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up and how we met, because anybody knows my story, I'm a big race fan. But it was the transaction, but because of the warmth that Michael and his team provided, we stayed in contact. We're like, oh, he's in from Miami. I invited him and his team back to my motor coach. I'm like, hey, come party with us. Let's just to hang out, because when you meet good people, you want to find a way to do business with good people. And as Michael said, 7 years later, we have now found opportunities to bring forth our partnerships, bring forth values to both of our industries. And that's what I want people to do, is have a conversation that may be a little outside the norm, but you never know where it's going to lead and who's going to bring it to you. If you don't have the conversation, you're never going to know. I like to say I dated a lot of 10s, way out of my league. But the reason I got the 10s is because for me, the answer is always no, unless you ask. So always ask the question, how can we do something together? Or better yet, how can I just help you without asking for anything in return? I've heard this recently. A lot of people's favorite radio station is WIFM. What's in it for me? I'm in it to leave a legacy of people that are better because they got connected. That's what ProCents is here for. That's what Michael's here for. And I know our community, that's what you're here for, because you're better connected. So Michael, thank you so much for this time. And to the team, please, or the partners of ProCents, go check Michael out. Check out GTO, check out IQ. And if you're not able to do it online, if you want to see it live and in person, not a massage chair, come check us out November 9th through the 11th at Lake Lanier Islands for our 3rd annual trade show and golf tournament. So thank you again. Signing off. We'll see you next time on Inside ProCents.
Have a good one, guys. Thank